In today's world, shutting every window tight during winter seems natural. Fuel was costly, heating systems were limited, and many would think opening a window in freezing weather was wasteful. Yet our grandparents did it consistently. The reasoning was practical, grounded in experience, and based on understanding how air, moisture, and health interact within the home. They weren't wasting heat. They were preventing problems that would cost far more in comfort, health, and repairs. They understood that stale air is more dangerous than cold air. Homes of the past weren't airtight. In fact, drafty gaps, single-pane windows, and poorly insulated walls meant air moved naturally. Despite this, they still opened windows or cracked doors deliberately for ventilation. The reason wasn't comfort alone, it was health. Stale indoor air carries moisture, dust, and germs. During winter, when everyone huddled inside, these concentrations could grow quickly. Excess moisture led to mold, mildew, and rotting wood. It also increased the risk of respiratory infections. By venting, they ensured that fresh air replaced the old, reducing these risks. In practical terms, they might open a window for 10 to 15 minutes daily, often at the warmest part of the day, letting stale air escape while minimizing heat loss. Even with scarce coal, wood, or oil, they understood the balance between conserving fuel and maintaining breathable air. They knew that poorly ventilated rooms, though warmer, could create problems that were far costlier. For instance, damp curtains or furniture could soak up condensation and eventually ruin fabrics or wooden furniture. Ventilation prevented this decay, effectively protecting their investment in household items. Practically today, this principle can be applied by cracking windows near stoves or heaters for short periods, using trickle vents on modern windows, or employing a small fan to circulate air without significant heat loss. The goal was never to fully heat the air outdoors, but to refresh indoor air strategically. Opening just one window can send heat straight outside, but our grandparents often used cross-ventilation techniques. This meant opening 2 points, usually at opposite ends of a room or home, so that air moved across, not straight out. This method flushed out stale air while keeping the room relatively warm. For modern preppers, this shows that ventilation doesn't mean wasting heat. You can replicate it by opening a small window in one corner while keeping a door or vent on the opposite side slightly ajar. The airflow refreshes the air efficiently without turning the entire house into an icebox. Winter brings condensation. In older homes, this meant walls, ceilings, and windows often became damp overnight. Left unchecked, it led to structural damage, peeling paint, and even dangerous mold growth. Ventilation was their tool to control this invisible threat. They timed ventilation when indoor humidity was highest, after cooking, washing, or even after a large family gathered in a room. Modern application is simple. Running a small fan during cooking or showering, cracking a window in damp areas, and ensuring air can move freely can prevent moisture-related damage without heavy fuel use. Before antibiotics and modern HVAC systems, indoor air quality directly affected family health. Winter colds, flu, and respiratory issues spread more quickly in tightly sealed homes. By ventilating strategically, they reduced the concentration of germs. Simple routines like opening a window for 10 minutes before bedtime or after breakfast were preventive measures. Today, even in insulated homes, following these practices can reduce illness spread during winter and improve overall well-being. You know, our grandparents weren't careless. They paired ventilation with smart insulation and heat retention. Thick curtains, draft stoppers, and insulating bed covers allowed them to let in fresh air without losing all the heat. The idea was controlled exposure, ventilate, then seal the warmth back in. Preppers today can take the same approach. Using heavy drapes, closing interior doors, or employing insulated covers while ventilating one room keeps heat where it's needed while maintaining fresh air. Ventilation was never random. It was guided by observation. Folks could feel when a room was damp, smell the difference between stale and fresh air, and even notice the health of family members as a measure of air quality. This attention to detail is a skill that still applies today. Paying attention to condensation, musty smells, or even static in the air can guide ventilation timing and intensity without wasting energy. Applying these lessons today is practical and cost-effective. Modern homeowners and preppers can learn directly from these techniques. Short, deliberate ventilation periods, cross-ventilation strategies, pairing air refreshment with insulation, and paying attention to moisture and health indicators are all practical measures. They protect homes, save money, reduce illness, and improve comfort. The principles remain the same: refresh air, manage moisture, conserve heat, and observe closely. In essence, our grandparents understood the delicate dance between warmth, air quality, and resource management. They didn't compromise health or home for the sake of fuel savings. Their approach was strategic, practical, and effective, a lesson that today's survivalists, preppers, and history enthusiasts can directly apply to their homes. If you found this guide useful, detailed, and worth sharing, make sure to subscribe to Warfield Prepper Chronicles and share it with fellow history buffs. Staying informed on the skills and methods of the past can directly enhance your preparedness today.